Before every great journey stands a challenge, a towering peak against the sky. For the mountaineer, this is not just a rock to be climbed, it is a dream given form. He stands at the base, the wind whispering tales of those who tried and turned back, and those who pushed forward into legend. The summit, shrouded in clouds, seems impossibly distant, a place reserved for giants or heroes. But the mountaineer is neither. He is simply a person with a powerful vision. He sees the peak not as an obstacle, but as a destination. It calls to him, a silent promise of what is possible when you decide to aim high. This is where it all begins, not with a step, but with a look upward and a decision made deep in the heart. The air is thin and crisp, filled with the scent of pine and stone. The mountain is immense, a silent giant that has stood for ages. Its sheer faces and icy ridges are intimidating. It's easy to feel small and insignificant in its shadow. Many people would look at such a sight and think, "That's impossible for me." They would let the size of the challenge defeat them before they even began. But the mountaineer sees it differently. He acknowledges the difficulty, respects the danger, and understands the magnitude of the task ahead. Yet, he does not let fear paralyze him. Instead, he allows the grandeur of the mountain to fuel his own inner fire, turning intimidation into inspiration. This moment of stillness before the climb is crucial. It is a time for connection, for the mountaineer to align his spirit with his goal. He isn't thinking about the whole climb at once, that would be overwhelming. Instead, he is committing to the journey itself. He accepts that there will be struggle, there will be moments of doubt, and there will be times when he wants to quit. By accepting these truths from the start, he prepares his mind for the long road ahead. He makes a pact with himself to face whatever comes his way. This is not about being fearless. It is about feeling the fear and choosing to move forward anyway. It's the first victory in a long series of them. The mountain represents any big goal we have in life. It could be graduating from school, starting a business, or repairing a friendship. These goals can often seem just as intimidating as a towering peak. They look so big and far away that we don't know where to start. We might feel that we lack the strength, the skill, or the time to achieve them. But like the mountaineer, we must first simply face our mountain. We must stand before it, look up, and decide that it is worth the climb. The journey to any great height begins with the simple, powerful choice to begin. It starts with believing that the summit, no matter how distant, is within our reach. Success is rarely an accident. For the mountaineer, victory is not won on the slopes of the mountain, but in the quiet moments of preparation long before. He doesn't just show up with a rope and a prayer. He begins with a map. He studies the mountain's every contour, every ridge, and every potential hazard. He learns about the weather patterns, the best times to climb, and the safest routes to take. He breaks the enormous journey down into smaller, manageable sections. The climb is no longer one impossible leap to the summit, but a series of achievable goals. Media group, climber reaching base camp, crossing a glacier, ascending a steep rock face at its distribute equally, reach the first base camp, cross the icy crevasse, ascend the rocky face. This detailed plan is his blueprint for success. Every piece of equipment is chosen with purpose. Each carabiner is tested, every inch of rope is inspected, and every layer of clothing is selected for maximum warmth and minimum weight. This is not about being obsessive, it is about respecting the challenge. The mountaineer knows that a small oversight, a forgotten pair of gloves or a faulty buckle, can have huge consequences high on the mountain. He packs his bag not just with gear, but with intention. Every item has a role to play in his journey. This meticulous attention to detail removes uncertainty and builds confidence. He is not hoping for the best, he is preparing for the worst, and planning for success. This planning phase is where the mountaineer's focus is first sharpened. He visualizes each stage of the climb. In his mind, he has already navigated the treacherous sections and rested at the planned camps. He anticipates the challenges and thinks through his responses. What will he do if a storm rolls in? Where is the alternate route if the primary one is blocked? This mental rehearsal is just as important as physical training. It builds a mindset of proactivity, not reactivity. He is not just waiting for things to happen. He is preparing to make things happen. His plan is a declaration that he is in control of his journey. In our own lives, this kind of planning is what separates dreamers from doers. Having a big goal is great, but without a plan, it's just a wish. Like the mountaineer, we need to break our big goals down into smaller, actionable steps. If you want to get good grades, your plan might involve setting aside specific times to study, breaking down chapters into manageable chunks and scheduling time to review. Every detail matters. By preparing thoroughly, you are not leaving your success to chance. You are creating a clear path forward, building the foundation upon which you will climb toward your own personal summit. The most difficult part of any journey is often the beginning. After all the planning and preparation, there comes a moment of truth, the first step. The mountaineer stands at the trailhead, his pack on his back and his plan in his mind. The air is still, and for a moment the sheer scale of the task can feel paralyzing. Doubt can creep in. Is the plan good enough? Am I strong enough? But the mountaineer knows that thinking won't get him up the mountain. Action will. He takes a deep breath, plants his foot firmly on the trail and pushes off. That single, simple movement is everything. It transforms intention into action. This first step is more than just a physical act. It is a commitment. It breaks the inertia of standing still and creates the first ripple of momentum. The second step follows more easily than the third. Soon a rhythm develops. Left foot, right foot, breathe. The mountaineer isn't thinking about the summit anymore. He is focused entirely on the few feet of trail in front of him. Each step is taken with care and precision. He pays attention to the placement of his boots, the feel of the ground beneath him, and the balance of the pack on his back. These small, deliberate actions begin to add up. Momentum is a powerful force. It is built not through giant leaps, but through consistent, steady progress. The mountaineer knows that every step, no matter how small, is a victory. It is one step closer to his goal. He doesn't get discouraged that the peak still looks far away. He finds satisfaction in the process itself. He celebrates the small wins along the way, reaching a landmark, completing the first hour of the climb, finding a steady pace. This positive feedback loop fuels his determination. The progress he makes, however incremental, proves that his plan is working and that he is capable of the journey. This principle applies directly to our goals. We often get stuck because we look at the huge distance between where we are and where we want to be. The key is to break it down and just start. If your goal is to write a book, don't worry about the whole manuscript. Just write the first sentence, then the next. If you want to get in shape, don't think about running a marathon. Just put on your shoes and go for a 5-minute walk. That first small action breaks the hold of hesitation. It creates momentum, and with each small, intentional step you take, you build the power to take the next one, moving steadily toward your own summit. As the mountaineer ascends, the climb grows more difficult. The air becomes thinner, the muscles ache, and the initial excitement gives way to the grinding reality of the task. This is where true determination is forged. It is easy to stay motivated when things are easy, but the real test comes when challenges arise. A sudden gust of wind, a slippery patch of ice, a moment of fatigue. These are the small problems that can derail an unfocused mind. They can become excuses to slow down, to doubt, or to turn back. But the mountaineer maintains an unwavering gaze, both literally and metaphorically. His focus is locked on the immediate task. He is not distracted by the vast, intimidating drop to his left, or the seemingly endless climb still ahead. His world shrinks to the next handhold, the next foothold, the next swing of the ice axe. This intense concentration is a form of mindfulness. It keeps his mind from wandering into territories of fear or doubt. He is fully present in the moment, dedicating all his energy to the single action he is performing. This focus is his shield against the nagging voice of restlessness that whispers, "This is too hard," or "You've gone far enough." He simply acknowledges the thought and returns his attention to the climb. This ability to stay on task is a skill, one that the mountaineer has practiced over countless hours. He has trained himself to ignore distractions, both external and internal. When he feels a wave of exhaustion, he doesn't give in to it. He relies on his training and his plan. He takes a measured pause, controls his breathing, sips some water, and then resumes his rhythm. He understands that energy is not just physical, it is also mental. By keeping his mind calm and focused, he conserves precious mental energy that would otherwise be wasted on worry or frustration. He channels all his strength into making steady, upward progress. In our daily lives, we are constantly bombarded with distractions. Notifications on our phones, endless to-do lists, and our own wandering thoughts can pull us away from what is most important. Like the mountaineer, we must learn to cultivate focus. When you are working on a project, close the unnecessary tabs on your computer. When you are having a conversation with someone, put your phone away and truly listen. By practicing this kind of single-minded attention, you can overcome the small obstacles and moments of restlessness that threaten to derail you. You learn to stay the course, even when it's difficult, keeping your gaze fixed on the task at hand. Imagine for a moment two climbers on the same mountain. One is the focused mountaineer we've been following all along. The other, though, is a different kind of climber. One whose mind isn't really on the mountain at all, but, honestly, is everywhere else. This second climber, well, he's physically present, but mentally he's kind of lost. As he climbs, his thoughts just drift. He worries about what people will think if he fails. He daydreams about the glory of reaching the summit, forgetting to even watch his footing. He gets frustrated by a loose rock and spends precious energy complaining about it. His mind is just a whirlwind of distraction, and yeah, his progress really suffers because of it. This distracted climber is trapped in a cycle of what-ifs and if-onlys. He's constantly second-guessing his decisions. Maybe he's thinking, maybe I should have taken the other route, or if only the weather were better. This kind of thinking, it just paralyzes him. Instead of focusing on what he can control, his next move, he obsesses over things he just can't change. He looks at how far he still has to go and feels totally overwhelmed. Then he looks at how far he's come and feels like it isn't enough. He's stuck in this mental tug-of-war, and as a result he makes careless mistakes. He might miss a solid handhold or misjudge a step, putting himself in unnecessary danger. In contrast, our focused mountaineer operates from a place of quiet confidence. His mind isn't his enemy, it's actually his greatest tool. He's trained it to serve his purpose. When a negative thought arises, he doesn't fight it or get swept away by it. He simply observes it like a cloud passing in the sky and gently brings his focus back to his breathing and his movement. He's engaged in this powerful dialogue with the mountain, responding to its challenges with skill and presence. His energy isn't scattered by mental chatter but is instead a concentrated force, propelling him upward one careful step at a time. This contrast really highlights a critical lesson for our own goals. How often do we get stuck in our own heads? We overthink, we worry, and we let our minds wander to 1,000 different distractions. We get trapped in analysis paralysis, planning and replanning without ever actually taking action, or we start a task only to be pulled away by a notification or, a sudden urge to check social media. The Mountaineer teaches us that progress requires presence. To conquer our mountains, we must first learn to quiet the noise in our minds and focus our full attention on the path directly in front of us. This is the difference between moving forward and simply spinning in place. Section 6. Every step a victory. As the mountaineer continues his ascent, he becomes a living example of a powerful principle. Small intentional acts build unstoppable momentum. Each time he plants his ice axe firmly into the glacier, it is an act of intention. Each step he takes onto a narrow ledge is a choice to move forward. These are not grand, heroic gestures. They are small, precise, and repeated over and over again. But when added together, they create something magnificent. They create a path where none existed. They turn the impossible into the inevitable. The summit is not reached in a single leap. It is reached by the sum of thousands of these small, deliberate victories. This steady progress does not go unnoticed. Other climbers on the mountain, perhaps struggling with their own doubts, might see him. They see his steady rhythm, his calm focus, and his relentless upward movement. They don't see a superhero, they see someone just like them, but with a powerful sense of purpose. His progress becomes a source of inspiration. It shows them what is possible. If he can keep going, they might think, so can I. His journey is no longer just his own. It becomes a beacon for others, a silent testament to the power of perseverance. He leads not by shouting commands, but by quietly and consistently moving forward. The mountaineer himself draws strength from this process. With every 100 feet he climbs, his confidence grows. The mountain, which once seemed like an unconquerable giant, now feels like a partner in his dance. He learns its rhythms, its moods, and its secrets. He is no longer fighting against it, he is working with it. This synergy is born from his respect for the details. He understands that every small action matters. A well-tied knot, a carefully chosen route, a moment of rest. They are all bricks in the foundation of his success. He is not just climbing a mountain, he is building a monument to the power of intention. This is a profound lesson for our own lives. We often underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. We think we need to make some huge, drastic change to achieve our goals. But the truth is, Greatness is built in the small moments. Reading 10 pages of a book each day, saving a small amount of money from every paycheck, taking a few minutes to meditate each morning. These acts may seem insignificant on their own, but when performed with intention and consistency, they accumulate. They build a momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable, carrying you toward your goals and inspiring others along the way. Section 7. The Summit in the Everyday. The Mountaineer's approach is not just for climbing mountains of rock and ice, it is a guide for conquering the peaks we face in our everyday lives. Think about a big project at school or work that feels overwhelming. It's your personal Mount Everest. Staring at the final deadline can cause panic and procrastination. But what if you applied the Mountaineer's mindset? You would start by making a detailed plan. You would break the project down into smaller, manageable tasks: research, outline, first draft, revision. Each task becomes a mini summit, a base camp on the way to the top. Now consider the battle against hesitation or laziness. We all know that feeling. You know you should go to the gym or start that assignment or clean your room, but you just can't seem to get started. Your body feels heavy and your mind makes 1,000 excuses. This is the moment to remember the Mountaineer's first step. Don't think about the entire workout or the whole messy room. Just focus on one small, simple action. Put on your workout clothes or pick up one item off the floor. This tiny act of intention breaks the spell of inertia. It creates a small spark of momentum that you can build upon. The principle of unwavering focus is also a powerful tool for daily life. Our world is designed to distract us. How can you stay on task? Try setting a timer for 25 minutes and dedicating that time to a single activity with no interruptions. This is like the Mountaineer focusing only on the next handhold. When the timer goes off, you can take a short break and then begin again. This method, often called the Pomodoro technique, helps train your mind to resist distractions and stay present. It allows you to make significant progress in small, concentrated bursts, preventing burnout and keeping your energy high. Finally, remember that every intentional act adds up. When you choose to eat a healthy meal instead of junk food, it's a small victory. When you decide to read a chapter of a book instead of scrolling through social media, it's another step up the mountain. These choices may seem minor in the moment, but they define your path. They are the footprints you leave behind on your journey toward your goals. By embracing the Mountaineer's way, you learn that you don't need superhuman strength to achieve great things. You just need a clear plan, a focused mind, and the courage to take the next small, deliberate step. Section 8. From hesitation to action. The greatest distance to cross is often the one between thinking about doing something and actually doing it. This is the chasm of hesitation. We stand on one side with our goals and dreams in plain sight on the other, but we are frozen. Fear of failure, a desire for perfection, or simple laziness can keep us stuck. We tell ourselves we'll start tomorrow, or when the time is right, or when we feel more motivated. But the Mountaineer knows that motivation doesn't just appear, it is a byproduct of action. The perfect time to start is now, with the first small step. To move from hesitation to action, you must consciously shrink your focus. The thought of climbing the entire mountain is paralyzing. The thought of taking a single step is empowering. If your goal is to save $1,000, the big number can be intimidating. But the goal of saving $5 today is achievable. By reframing the task, you make it less daunting and more approachable. Celebrate that small victory. You didn't just save $5, you took a concrete step toward your financial goal. You proved to yourself that you are capable of action. This builds self-trust and makes the next step even easier. The Mountaineer's antidote to restlessness is rhythm. When he feels his mind start to wander or his body start to tire, he brings his attention back to his steady pace. Breathe, step, step. We can do the same in our lives. When you feel overwhelmed by a large task, establish a simple, repeatable rhythm. Write for 15 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Solve one math problem, then stretch. This rhythm creates a structure that supports your focus. It breaks the overwhelming task into a predictable pattern, making it feel less like a monstrous challenge and more like a manageable dance. Ultimately, overcoming hesitation is a choice. It is the decision to value progress over perfection. The first draft of your essay won't be perfect. Your first workout at the gym won't be your best. The first step on the mountain is just a step, but it is infinitely more valuable than standing still and dreaming of the summit. The mountaineer understands that the journey itself is what shapes him. Each action, no matter how flawed, is a learning experience. So, the next time you find yourself hesitating, take a deep breath, shrink your focus to one tiny action, and just begin. The rest of the mountain will be there when you are ready for it. Section 9. The power within the climb. The journey of the mountaineer is a powerful metaphor for the human spirit. It teaches us that reaching our dreams, no matter how high they may seem, is not a matter of luck or special talent. It is a matter of determination, detail, and dedication. The summit is not a gift given to the few, it is a reward earned by those who are willing to embrace the climb. The path to any worthy goal is paved with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But these are not signs to turn back. They are tests designed to strengthen our resolve and deepen our character. The secret of the mountaineer is that he finds power not in the destination, but in the process. His strength comes from his meticulous planning, his unwavering focus, and his respect for the small, steady actions that lead to great heights. He knows that every detail matters, from the knot in his rope to the rhythm of his breath. This intentionality transforms the climb from a brutal struggle against nature into a graceful partnership with it. He doesn't conquer the mountain in a single act of force. He earns his way to the top through thousands of acts of focus and discipline. This philosophy is the key to unlocking our own potential. When we face our own impossible mountains, our biggest goals and dreams, we must remember the power of the climb. We must have the courage to make a plan, the discipline to focus on the details, and the patience to take one step at a time. We must understand that momentum is built from small, consistent efforts. Every small action, done with purpose, adds to our strength and brings the summit a little closer. The journey will be hard, but it is in the struggle that we discover who we are and what we are capable of. In the end, the view from the top is not the only prize. The real victory lies in the person you become along the way. By facing your challenges with the heart of a mountaineer, you build resilience, discipline, and an unshakable belief in your own ability to persevere. You learn that even when things seem impossible, a steady hand, a focused mind, and a determined spirit can overcome any obstacle. The greatest peaks in life are not there to defeat us, they are there to show us how high we can climb. And the journey begins now with your very next step.